technical upgrade today?
Yeah, let's do a technical upgrade.
Yeah, there's about half the stuff on my list that we can, I can't get through.
Do you want to do a separate one or something else?
Well, I turned around and I wrote this down, like I said, what all our assets are and our liabilities, you know, along with that. But the things that we can turn around and clean up in-house here, over the entire thing, we're trying to see what the problem is.
Well, that's probably wouldn't be him.
His recommendation,
Yeah, we'll look at that.
okay, the reservoir. It's a big asset. There's no fencing out. There's an outdated building, very small. I believe that if we get the right technology out there and we can update that building and have video surveillance of the reservoir, you won't have to turn on spinning man hours to drive somebody out there, it'll be on camera. We have a flow meter out there, but it's an inserted flow meter. It's not calibrated, it doesn't work correctly, and it only measures down to 40 gallons per minute. Anything less than 40 gallons per minute doesn't register.
What about the sensitive meters? I mean, I could afford that.
Well, it's two different sides. One, you're buying a flow meter like over there that's on the wall, and then you're buying a sensiphone add-on for the communication port.
You know that purpose, right?
But if you're going to need new phone lines out there regardless, because they've known over the years that you've had a landline out there that it wasn't reliable. You would pick the phone up and it would be crappy or it wouldn't work at all. They would come out to service it and it wouldn't last very long. So there's not really up there.
So yeah, as far as the goes, there is all various things, but a lot of our remote plants are having great success in impressive success in glad to make a recommendation right now. I don't know what the internet bill is a month. Maybe the last meeting was $400 a month.
Oh, we're definitely looking for a different avenue.
We use Starlink $250 a month. There's a cost to purchase your modem, but for $250 a month, pay it off and pay
Well, not to mention our gas and the manholes for the diesel we went on the project.
It's something to look into.
So the initial startup is a base price, and then you're saying it's like $250 monthly fee. For how much monthly access do you use?
I'll have to check it. Trying to figure out the user short. Plant, the treatment building, and the music out the office, which is not. So you say outdated building.
Everything that's in there, I mean, the mice and snake infestation, but they used to try and preaching about their recording gas. And everything inside the building, all the hardware and electronics, everything is completely rusted. It's just a building that you can kind of utilize and kind of run, you know, almost like a shop operate.
But you have a telephone line up there?
Yes, it's very, very unreliable. And I think that account was actually canceled several times over the past 5 years without being clear.
If you had your phone up there and turned on your hotspot, does it work?
Depends on your cellular coverage. For right now, I have T-Mobile from here, halfway to well 2. I have new service, and I have none out of the reservoir. So that landline is the only line that you have out there that you would access to the call.
Thank you.
If you have Verizon, you actually gain service halfway to the well too, and you actually have service at the reservoir with Verizon.
A hotspot then would work for Verizon. That'd be cheap for you.
You have to have the thing there for it to work if you don't run off.
I would assume.
You can buy a little box, it's a hotspot, that would run your cameras then.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How far, what is the red line distance from here? Not
It's 420 miles.
I think we can talk you into switching on the other side so you're speaking up to us all. Great, thank you very much. I can hear those good, but not him.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No, that's all right. Thank you very much.
We want to see your handsome face. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
What size line is it? 8-inch. That's what I have on the record. Yes. Kind of shapes it on. It was installed in the 50s. It's 8-inch AC. They volunteered whenever they kind of put it in. They took a grader and turned sunk the blade a foot deep. They pipe it and they turned back over the blade around. What was that like?
So it's pretty shallow, so.
Yeah, it's only about 4 feet in places and you over the rocks. The drainage isn't that great. In spots, it's marshes. The water that you see lines under the marshes, but
Maybe susceptible to this,
you're looking for just that sheet of you out of it. We're not looking at that stuff. I'll bring it with you next meeting.
Anything else for the resident?
Yes, the discussion about the permit. There's a back reservoir and a front reservoir. The question is, do we need a permit to turn and dredge the inlet in the back permit, or in the back reservoir if it is permitted? If it is permitted, it should be.
If it is permitted, you shouldn't need it? Shouldn't need, yes, absolutely.
But if it's not permitted, we can. Well, how's that reservoir called? Is the stream coming in? Is it a blue line stream? Because you'd have to have a permit if that was the case. I'm not sure. I'll
The DEP to it?
Yeah, well, I can look it up. I don't know if I can in a second, but if it's, anytime you enter a waterway or do any dredging activity, if it's a blue line stream, you need a permit, whether it's part of your reservoir or not. Has it ever been dredged, did you know? You know, there's big sandboards in the inlet right now.
Just
And
the
it's-
back reservoir is dredged?
Just actually the inlet.
Okay.
The inlets built up so high now that the water comes down the watershed, hits that sandbar, and then turn around and goes out into like a marshy swamp. With the entire area, and then can't slowly integrate it. But yes, that will be permitted if it's a chapter 90 designation.
Mr. Gallaher, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Your comments about that block building and upgrading it for, all the stuff, what would be the potential of having a solar cell up there at the tower? Would that be enough? Because I remember that electric, that coming in, that was sketchy at best.
I've never turned around really used it, but we're years of engineering, we use solar. We have mixed results with it. It depends on the area. I mean, I've never been up to the reservoir. I'm assuming it's surrounded by trees. It depends on what all the power there. But it's something I talked to our electrical engineer about. For what it's worth, he hates solar, but he's an electrical engineer. But that's just his opinion. I mean, we'll look into it. If it's practical, we'll absolutely use it. I mean, if it's going to require more, then we're not going to let him install it. It's not
Running over the time of a good thunderstorm coming through the village back.
Well, the reason like you turned off that question up and I can hear you saying about the factory. Well, too, they turned and ran a pump to try and pre-treat the chlorine, and that was the only thing in it. And we were still trying to pay $100 a month around that power. So if you're only trying to use it to try and run a pump with minimal power, I don't see why you couldn't.
I would do that.
Well, for the reservoir, you only need power load to run the
Just the
meter.
just the canyon and the plumbing
Meter
stuff.
up there.
It's all actually local. You did turn and touch on my next point, the transmission line, the 4 miles. We had already kind of talked before, it's a bad road. There are a bunch of bad valves on that. How many valves are on it? I think 3 in the most weirdest places you could ever imagine. I know there's a lot of valves that don't work in town in the system. I'd like to try and see at least 2 or 3 valves put in there every mile. And then if we have that flow meter out at the reservoir, you don't, if it's halfway out, there's a problem. You only have to go to mile 3 to shut it off. You don't have to go run mile 4. That's extra time and wasted. I know the valve costs more, but the return is going to save you more in the long run. Like I said, it was only, that line's only a foot deep, and it's made of asbestos concrete, so. We were looking into that. Did we purchase stone and stuff at that time, or was that for
the road. And then they have some out
was it
there.
like Orleans and UB?
Slate.
Does that sound right?
Not what?
Any stone that was purchased for the road?
Oh, this is all Killian.
Where's the way?
Yeah. Slate.
Slate.
Well, most of it's sand rock.
Pretty good stuff there.
It's good stuff. You can see it down on my property if you have any
Where
questions.
you got your stuff.
$200 a load. No.
After the transmission line, I mean, the transmission line comes clean into the plant, but we still have three different areas. Well, 2, the little chlorine house that we have, and then the Hannaford wells that we're looking into. The discussion on well 2 is if we're going to turn around and if we spend $125,000 to $175,000 already on litigation money that was awarded for well development, and we really don't have anything to show for the Hamilton wells, is there any way that we can try and go back and look at and see how all that money was allocated?
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with this situation, and I apologize for that.
We'll find out.
How did this
Ask
go?
questions.
How did this go over? I know there was some there was litigation involving, was Castleberry involved in that?
He was part of it, wasn't he?
Erickson and Nealon.
Erickson and Nealon.
Erickson Drilling, Nealon Engineering. Castleberry was exempt because he outlined everything, they just chose not to follow his recommendations.
And they paid out for that? $175,000, you said?
I haven't found out the documents where the amount was. Somebody says it's $125,000 and somebody else says it's $170,000. So there's a $50,000 discrepancy.
So you want me to give it to you on that?
That was confirmed by Ms. Vicky Johnson, by the board maker. I made the state at 175, she corrected me now after the attorneys, it's 125.
Who verified that? I apologize.
The former secretary, former secretary.
What year was that built?
With the litigation,
Yeah.
98 to late 02.
I think that was prior to the building being built.
Then my question though with well too though is, if we have all this money turned on something with the Hamilton wells, the generator's coming out of there, we have an undersized well pump that's already there. What are we gonna do with that building?
There was a discussion on this before.
Do you still keep it as,
Well, it's in the water pipes pretty bad. Very bad. So the water pumps undersized.
Mhm.
The building is pressure.
This would be looking for your recommendation.
Sure. So what is going wrong? What's the latest with that Hamilton project?
Last I heard it was in that Castleberry thing.
It's been in his hands for the past 6 or 7 years.
It's in Jim's hand.
The original testing from when I remember way back when, I believe was from '08, and we've asked for several continuances in turn on trying to move forward. We never did.
Do you know, do you have any idea the last thing that was done? If they drilled test wells, if they done anything?
Yeah, they're drilling.
Okay.
Yeah, they're drilling, they will sample, but the sampling has been like 30. And they keep having new recommendations when it comes out. They've asked that at least 2 or 3 times if we can still use that original testing. So far, the last couple times that we did, they said, yes, you can use it, but there's also additional testing that you found out to do, and then we can only do the PFAS and PFOS.
You did that?
We did those, yes, we're still, everything's still way till Castleberry.
Well, I'm pretty good at avoiding Castleberry, so I can do that. Okay.
So they said whether we have a discussion about what we're gonna do with all two, or not now, but
Yeah.
everybody's input. Chlorine house is the same thing, it uses a blow-off point, a sampling point. One thing about that, all the valves except for I believe 1 or 4 valves there, 3 of them are inoperable. And you can't turn around, you can't move around that chlorine house if there's a problem in there, you can't turn it anywhere, you can't shut it in there. And then the other one, like I said, that was the Hamilton laws, where we are under development and what have we paid for. Like that money that we've spent over the past 10 or 15 years on this project, I'd like to kind of have a total.
You guys had all,
I couldn't tell you. I would like to think we would, but as far as I can tell you what we spent on our end.
Yeah.
As far as everything else, I'll have to see that.
I'm assuming that whenever they were allotted that money, that money had to go into a special account. Only used for that.
Back then, because it was nowadays, yes, but back then, I don't know. I'll see what I can find out. That's all I can do.
This is a page and a half inside the plan.
Or inside the plant.
Yeah, that's what we decided on. The generator, we'll start with the generator. Is that generator functional right now? It is functional. How does it get its fuel?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I'm not being a smart ass, I'm asking a
Still
serious
use the barrel because the underground tank is bad.
We got,
We know.
Let's see, that barrel's not in there right now.
No, we took it out. If we need it.
Please calm down and just listen to what I say.
Oh.
Right now, that generator has no fuel onto it. So the
Alright.
fire is out.
But
But it's been a 2-year knowing that there was water in that fuel in that day tank and outside. We still haven't made a decision about that either. We can't keep kicking the can.
no kidding, we need to fix that. We need to figure that out. Like, I know we've gotten quotes from Regions to pull the tank, it's in there. And I think, did they give us a quote for a big tank?
Yeah, I don't know about the number, I'm pretty sure he gave you a quote.
It was about $2,000.
what was that?
For a tank?
Yeah,
No.
2,000 for the tank, I believe.
I know, yeah, I know we need to replace it.
Yeah.
Like, no, we just need to approve as a board what we gotta do with it.
Yeah, it actually has to make it on the agenda, meeting. We talk about it, but we never try and do anything. They said we're months past.
Yeah, I know we approved the pull tank, we have, we can pull it.
I'm almost positive Leo's recommendation was to go with the above ground, which I believe was $2,000. One quote. I was almost positive we wanted to avoid the underground tank.
Yeah,
Because it's underground now,
and it's not a good location.
it's not a good location. Maybe the 2,000 was pulling, now that I recollect.
I think that was what it was for the $1.5 million.
So, do you know if he got your quote on price for a tank?
I don't know about the pull tank, but I know we got a quote approved it to pull it. Yeah, we can pull it. I do know that.
Whenever he left that day, though, he turned and said that he was still in debate whether we needed to permit. I thought it was 1,000 gallon.
Yes, that's correct.
And then I think that's the last thing I heard. I thought that's where he was wanted to go, as much as you could get without.
That 275 we have, we did purchase that.
How big is the tank below that?
I have no idea, 1,000 gallon maybe.
What's your generator use a day when it's running? I'm sure Leo has this information. I apologize for reaction. 8 gallons.
Yeah. I won't say 8 gallons when you run out of.
How often do you guys use power here at home?
Recently it's been quite often.
Not being on the inline way, I know that Leo was trying to play this way. Being on the inline of the electricity here, we trying on reducing a bunch of power sources. Right now, our surge protector that we purchased a couple years ago, it's in need of service. It's in need of service now for the past 2 years.
Do you have issues with surges? I mean, does it affect your equipment?
Oh yeah, there was a fire, and a couple years ago, there was a fire in here, and it burned the outside light outside that wall. The office was filled with smoke, lights were burned out. They turned around and called them, they replaced one light outside, and that was it.
I mean, so as far as, this is something I can do pretty quickly with the tank to get you guys a price for one, unless Leo has one. I mean, if it uses 8 gallons per day when used, you don't want to do a massive tank.
8 gallons per hour.
Oh, per hour, okay, I apologize. Okay. So even then, I mean, that's still
Not crazy.
not crazy. We got plants that we use.
Jeff, I have a question. When you guys are, talking about the problem of having a tank in the ground, and I'm not hearing everything you're saying there, you're gonna have an above ground tank from now on, and there's no permit required?
No, we keep it below a certain amount of gallons. I believe it's 1,000 feet, so.
You still have to have containment on that. double wall, fireplace, full cook, yes. Yeah.
I just wondered, because I just did a job up above Kettle, you know, to the watershed up there, they have propane. And I realized I'd be switching this motor over to propane, and I don't know what that costs or anything, but if you can get it done, I guess, without needing permits, and having a situation in the future like we have now, is the only reason I brought that up.
So we did the electrical surges, blow surge protectors, wiring the office, smoke out of office. This had nothing to do with you calling this a new one that we'd like to talk about. We talked about it before, maps in the generator room. And everything over here in these cabinets, there's three dehumidifiers in here, but only one of them works. And there is one to your right, but it's not plugged in. That's the only one that works out of the so.
Really cool.
I didn't get one. You get the air compressor room. Is the air compressor, they are being serviced, correct? The lights are off. When was the last time? Do you remember the past couple months?
Yeah, it was great. After I started.
Like I said, I know, like last time I was in there, I checked that, you know, the lights off, they fixed it.
Okay. What about the air dryers over on the other side?
I don't know nothing about those. I don't know that one.
They need to be serviced too. What dryers are they? The two original air compressors that were in there, they had air dryers built into them, but they actually both went bad. And 3 years ago, whenever I first started working, I turned on the phone, there was water and over caught the place that we turned on servicing the air valves. So we turned on drained all that out. We looked into, I'm trying to think of the guy's name, I think it's from the Phillipsburg area, but we turned and purchased two individual air dryers. And ran them, we plugged them through the wall and we turned around and put them up recently, we went to some old reservoirs.
Yeah, in our runner.
Well, they were when they were new, but they haven't been serviced, the filters haven't been changed.
What type of compressor do you have?
Alice Scott goes the old one, but I don't know what the new one.
You don't know really bought them off of.
So one of them's at the top.
I'm over here in the States now, but whenever we were down there the other day, what was the protocol for that? Whenever we were down at the States the other day with that bad valve, why were we down? What was that whole scenario about? The valve or one of those skids. Which valve was it that was bad?
Actuator?
Actuator? Which actuator?
The thing?
What number?
The top.
The top one?
Yeah.
Did it stick open and just water crown come pouring out?
Yeah, it got low. It won't fill up.
Or would fill up, so it's not good?
Yeah. Got the skid in the water. What's that skid be?
Well, the reason that the way it was explained to me, that Ryan turned around and said that you had to wait for 3 days and you were going to order them, right?
Yeah, we didn't wait.
And you didn't wait because...
We had one. It was a different model number, but when we called, it was the same thing.
Crossroads.
Yep.
Okay. Next one is outside the building, the waste, oh, actually the waste tank pumps before we go outside. I know pump 1 was rebuilt several years ago. Pump 2 is inoperable. And the meter is actually non-functional and in the incorrect place to turn on. for water flow for the outlet to the street. It's in the wrong place. See where that meter's at, and then there's the two down pipes?
Yeah.
And then there's the third down pipe on the right?
Yep.
That down pipe on the right there, the big turnaround and runs to a hose, and then there's a chain with a pump on it. And you can turn and set the level of that chain, and the turn pumps right out to the decant. They said that meter doesn't work, so I have no clue how they return, how they come up with the numbers.
Can I ask a question about that accident? Did Ryan oversee, was there someone who knew what they were doing to give him oversight on that? Did Ryan come and help oversee the changing that? No. Who was? You're looking at it. That raises your concern.
It worked. It worked. It worked. Yeah, I ain't all it worked. Yeah, it worked great. He put it on, hooked it up.
The only reason I call that is because there's PDPRs concerning qualified people working on anything within the plant that treats water. If you don't know what you're doing, and I'm not saying you don't, but you haven't had training, and this was an emergency, and you're responding, and I commend you for that. But if you're not sure what you're doing, you can even make it worse.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, and I'm not working with you, this is the lack of, you gotta have that guy up there that knows what he's doing with it.
From the calibrated chemical dictionaries, could be fighting, but the storage, do we have inventory on there, what's crossed in the
Shit.
in any, what, in everything calculated?
I think there is. I know there was. I don't know where it's at right now, but I know there was inventory.
I'll ask you, if we can get that inventory by the 7:21.
I think I did get it. But then we've used some macros since. What else? Size. What else have you guys used, do you know out there?
We replaced some couplers we had, used two couplers on Monday, and we replaced them. So we just gotta call LB and get these macros replaced. We still have a couple of cases in our receipt.
Skip over the rest of that stuff. One of the issues that was on that list was that water storage tank, we talked outside. In the past year and a half, even being on board, though, I know what kind of shape it was in, but I have no clue what the repairs were and what the status of that tank is. I'm assuming that we're trying to still go back from the bottom of it and reverse it, but how big is the tank? 183,000 gallons. It is 35 feet long. And you don't know what's going on. No, there were several leaks that I think they found drilled out there and put like a hole right under the bottom from the inspection with the rover. Whenever it was down the bottom, that whole bottom panel when was it inspected? Mid to late 2022 or 2023.
I know Leo's applied for a grant to refurbish that, didn't he? Better check with him first. I think he did. I think that was one of the things he applied for grant for.
I think that was talked about when Chris Eckenrode was here for the back in October at that meeting.
Do you remember if that's the one he was applying the grant for?
I think it was whenever Chris Eckenrode came for that meeting that was talked about with the tank. It was November.
Up there at the water storage tank, there was a wall up there, and we have a meter in there right now, but we were unable to access that camera. We have, I said, two with, finishing in that. To stream it, they were very, very tender to it. But they could turn around and try to move the one tree or hook up the sensor thing that okay.
Is there cell phone service up there?
Or what provider? That would be a question for Ryan. That was, I don't know, was it AT&T or who it was?
I don't think I did it up there. I don't think we're up there.
Is Verizon on your antenna? Have they installed Verizon on your antenna?
Not that I don't know of. They didn't notify me.
It's gonna make a big difference when they do.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot here. I guess. Now I'll sit back and ask. What's the goal here? You want to start picking things off one by one? Is it, do we want to make a big project out of this? And I apologize if this is a conversation you probably okay. I mean, it comes down to that. When we start picking things off, do we want to rank them by priority on what, you want me to go back and lay this out and give you my opinion on what's the biggest priority? Okay.
The smallest, easiest things to want to try to make.
I mean, just looking at this, I think the generator, getting a tank there is imperative, especially with the weather we've been having. Each of size and each of price to put something. Water treatment, we can look at it a bunch of different ways. There's 4 components to it. There's source water, there's treating that water, there's storing that water, and then there's sending that water out. One of the problems that I've seen looking at this, I haven't been involved in this system very long. One of the problems I saw in the Chapter 110 reports was, I think there's a discrepancy in the lost water compared to what's actually being metered and billed for. I think last year, the lost water report is at roughly 10%. That's pretty good. The year before, it was 50%, I believe, which.
Wasn't it higher?
No,
it was.
These numbers aren't correct.
Yeah, that's just the numbers that I'm looking at.
Where were they submitted at?
Yeah, they were submitted to DEP.
Wow.
That was not what was being spoken at the meeting, the monthly meetings.
So, just trying to figure out, financially what makes sense and how to pay for this stuff is I believe Ken was.
Is there a signature on that report?
There's an operator associated with it. I know there have been some issues with billing. I know there have been some issues with billing before. That was resolved. So was the issue with the billing, was that the number you're pulling off of the meter, or is it a software issue with the billing company, I guess?
I don't believe it was a software issue.
Is it an issue with the meters? Is that something you want to get fixed pretty soon?
Yeah, I know they've been working, they're changing out a lot. Over on the readings and things like that.
How have the meter readings been going on?
It's all better.
Yeah?
The 3 pages last hour, we're down to half.
One bad read.
Yeah.
What's a half a page number-wise? Just, I don't.
26, 25.
So that's, okay, so that's. a lot less of your system than 3 pages. Yeah. Rather than 150 readings, it's 25. Okay. This one sometimes gets people worked up. What's your shut-off procedures for delinquent payments?
I'm not sure, I'd have to look at the rules and regulations.
Okay.
They haven't been in place since I've been here, because the bills haven't been correct. Since I've been here.
I would be curious to know what your delinquent account statuses are.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge revenue stream. You could, I believe, if somebody says it's a lot of, we have a lot of delinquent accounts, so that's all relative to me. I mean, a lot could be 10 if you're asking the right person, or a lot could be 100, and that can very much affect your ability to pay for something.
We can get that information over to you.
That would be good. I'll look at you.
Are we still officially using the 2006 updated rules and regulations book now too, or?
I guess. Maybe that messed up they want to do.
I brought that up
I've been
last
here
year.
before, so.
There was a discrepancy with the 2006 should be the updated one, so.
I know that's. You
There
say,
was a 98 version and a 2006
you say
version.
6 is the latest one you got?
2006 is the latest one, yeah.
I'm not even sure where the detail is.
That was enacted in 2023,
Oh, really?
yeah. In September, took effect October.
Oh, okay.
It's up online.
Here's your holy grail. 1998 and 2006 is in the same binder.
What's it?
With post-it notes, scratch-offs, and everything else.
Well, the one that they printed out for me said it was enacted in 2023.
That was the employee handbook.
And that's not your rules and regs.
No, we never voted on those and regulations.
Wow. So that,
So
I didn't
that
ask
needs
for
to
a-
lie together, and that needs like motion and voters on to make sure everything's, you need to update it.
It's so far out of date that you need to turn around, throw it away, and start again.
Yeah.
I know we talked about updating it, we do need to update it.
Keep talking about it, you know.
Did you say that you looked in the rules and regulations? Did you try and find that in there for that $1,200 cap on fee?
No, not in that 96.
What do you mean 96?
Whatever 98 or whatever that was.
That should be not void though, the 98.
I'm not sure. No, where did I read that? I can't remember. I did
The
read
other
it.
thing that the attorney kind of told us that was whenever we turn around and do that, an engineer like we are, should turn around and change the UCC bylaws. If we were to try and change our cap on fees, could you try and see if that was ever done?
What is it?
They're UCC filings that we were supposed to have that to try and deal with the bank. Whenever we were turning around and making those changes, they were supposed to be made, changes were made and updated in this book, but they also kind of had to be updated in several places in the law.
how do you legally enforce
I'm
something?
still trying to ask that same question.
There was the same thing with the bylaws too.
Wow. That's hard.
Excuse me? I helped me write that 06.
I can't hear you, Bill.
I said I was on the board, I helped rewrite that 06 rules and regs.
Oh, did you hear that?
That, we turned that to 1,500
Oh, okay.
for the tap on. And then any rolls over or anything extra, that went to the customer.
Is that in that binder there, you said? That 06 is in that binder?
Yeah, 98's in the front here, so it goes back to here. 98's in the middle.
You know, like, who was the president, who was the vice president, who was the...
New employee handbooks turn around and throw them in here somehow, something like it doesn't make any sense.
I couldn't find that when we were going through it once ago. I couldn't find it.
But if you have this stuff, then you don't have to point fingers because it's black and white, there's no gray area. That's why you have this stuff.
one that you have her email that information to?
I'll call her.
You guys want- Yeah. Can't run one skid.
Do you know what your tap is? You don't know.
She does, I think. You're not allowed to put things on
See, like this one, here's the scheduling fee for a rate that we have 7 years ago.
Is 06 in the minute book as being enacted? Like the handbook was in the minutes?
I'm assuming these should be SOPs though. That's time to have a plan. Yep. All your sampling. There's a place that does the 12 It's too much in there. Put it back later.
The Honorable Mayor of Arvona in the last meeting asked a question and it was never answered. Who is the supervisor for day-to-day work? Who is the supervisor that's certified to watch over the two gentlemen that you employ?
Well, whenever I asked you the other day, when's the last time you seen Ryan?
I didn't hear that one.
He didn't want to say.
Wow.
I said you didn't want to say. You just said
I
you
don't know.
It's been a
Well,
while.
that's the answer. I don't know the last date I saw him.
So it's not a day-to-day
No.
supervision. Thank you, thank you.
I didn't put no words in your mouth.
Don't know. We have to go back and maybe try to find that.
I didn't put words in your mouth.
I don't know if he was here today, or
He was here yesterday.
yesterday maybe, but I don't know that for sure.
Saw Ken, seen Daryl.
Thank you. The mayor asked the question.
Is there anything in their contract as far as that obligation? And Ryan's, I said, was there anything in like their contract as far as time obligation? Like Ken, Darrell, and Ryan, like was there anything in their contract?
I know there would be the DEP samples though.
I'll get my staff writer to research that.
Anybody's windows down?
Yeah,
You said it's raining?
too late now, we're about.
Tom, is your windows down?
That's about right. That's probably too late now anyhow. No, that's okay, I appreciate it, Jeff. That's just the work we do.
That's what I was gonna ask. Well, if that's part of that class, because whenever they add it, they didn't add it to the, so where's it coming from? Is it added
Comes from this right here, down this road, this one right here, and out to this road here, then that comes up over here and it falls in here. It's a short cut and then down deposit.
Down here.
Why doesn't DEP tracker show me all the permits you have for?
Because DEP's record keeping is horrendous.
Thank you for the answer.
That's the answer. I wish it was better because it would help me out a lot if there, not necessarily a situation like the others, but when we come into a new client, we'll try to find as much information as we can, and it's hard to come by.
It's not there. Thank you for that answer. I plugged in the name of TEMA multiple ways trying to find the permits. Nothing came up, nothing found, it says.
If we know that 2024 and 25 numbers are bad, if I went 5 years back from 2023 to 2018, that's all I'm saying. I'll give you some accurate, tell you where it is.
I could probably put them on there and see if I'm looking for water reports, chapter 110 reports. Where's my tab, please?
Whoever wrote your DEP permit for your water needs to go back to at least 7th grade and find out how to write a good sentence structure. I didn't think he was using all acronyms.
You don't know the public water, you don't know the PWS ID number offhand, do you? I'm sorry, that's a tough one. Let me get it. I can look it up. 612-0025.
Yep.
610-0025. And I just need to figure that out. Got it. It takes a while. There it is. We got it. 617 instead of 612. I found it. I have 7 years worth of data pulled up since it's taken off. It doesn't give me the water loss on the line. I don't need the average water for that. Yeah. there's that one shoulder. I don't know if I have the ones on the boards. Yeah.
Who is responsible for fraudulent reports sent to DEP? Is the board of directors ultimately responsible?
That means you're the responsible person, you know what I mean? Is the name of it or not?
Yeah, it's just a name associated with it. That's not really true.
Oh, right. You have a lot of this group. That's my water losses.
How do you come up with that number? Gallon flow versus gallon heat? Big market.
Yeah, so oftentimes, I mean, you guys do flushing. They'll put like a number into that. There's not a number for it. Not a huge number, but it's unlimited connections of that. How do you know when you're unlimited connections?
Bowling alley must be
You
open.
tell them that for the amount of sake of it, we don't even need to see any of those reports, just the daily report. If you turn on this place, on average, trying to use 50,000 gallons a day, and we're pumping 140. How often do you fix leaks, Rob?
Lately, I think 5, because I've been here about 3 months, you know.
That's that's a big problem.
You know, higher elevations where we have a harder chance, or it's more likely a chance to not have water pressure if we have that problem there. He's one of the top 5 people, we're one of the top 5 people, and I'm one of the top 5 people in this system as far as elevation. So if there's a leak by Mr. Spade or by anybody in this
Well,
building,
it depends where you're getting that water from. If it's coming from the tank, it's not gonna affect you.
maybe it's the one time the pressure from this side, this 8-inch line, carries clean over to Blaine City. We hardly have any pressure from the rest of the side of Blaine City.
Oh, yeah, here.
Is this one fine? So if you're being fed from here, and this is this 8-inch line, carries comes down here, comes down through here now, goes clean out halfway across the here, ties back into the 8-inch. This 8-inch has more pressure feeding from the tank and the plant this way if there's another counterclockwise motion. Any one of these valves over here you can shut down and you can't get full pressure between these sustained density. And the other day whenever we had that problem on Market Street, there were problems on this upper street here in Rosebud, and we also had a couple complaints from people in police and
There are valves on these. I mean, where are valves at? Valves are a big one. I mean, you might have a valve that's stopped.
none of these really exercise. These ones wouldn't be that bad. There is a valve there. I don't know on the report because I wasn't able to document and we did document, but there should be a valve. Right here. A valve right here. One right here. One in this driveway right here, and then one over here. So there's 4 or 5 just on that section. Like I said, they're all Blaine City is, I mean, it's part of it, but it's pretty much just like you.
In the main lines, before it gets to you, what is the sustained water pressure?
Tom Dixon says it's over 150 psi over at his garage. Whether that's true or not, I haven't tested it, so I couldn't tell you. The
So
highest that I've seen with the tank at 32 feet would be at Johnson's garage at that 5 hydrant. I've seen 155 to 160 pounds. And whenever you open it up slow, and even if you do, you're standing there, it's pushing a whole lot of water, you're running underneath it. So, it's scary.
So when you receive low pressure, do you actually notice that it's low pressure?
Yeah, I have a booster pump because I don't have normal pressure to begin with. But then whenever that booster pump finds out that it doesn't have enough pressure, it kicks that out and then my faucet just trickles. Couldn't even brush your teeth.
Thank you.
So, one of the things that we've talked about before is this hydraulic model.
There's no intervening pumps that in the whole system, it's all right here in the plant.
Where you're sitting behind
Thank you.
Yeah, but they weren't functional and then we turned and rebuilt 4 of them in the storm system now. I don't know when they're going to touch that.
So these are some things that we need so that we can help out. So that we can tell you, okay, this is where we should be in those spots. Where those, I'm assuming those vaults were just put in just based on system knowledge. Nobody looked at this hydraulic model.
Yeah, that was part of this new project where they put a bolt in over that press view and they found the one on the shortcut. I figured we already have 1 meter in our gun. I mean, you can put on isolate our gun. You can use that tank just like this one. Once you get our gun under control and your flow in town is low, then you can turn and start moving out. And then once you turn and do that, like if you move on Crestview side, if I isolate the system in the middle of Leo's, and I'm in Crestview and I got 60 gallon minute,
okay, go to the next route and shut it down. Do I still have 60 gallons a minute? If I do, it's real close. If I lose it, keep pumping, keep moving. And that's kind of the point of our model. We can tell you, all right, based on all the elevation data that we have, we can tell you what it's supposed to be at every single house. You shut a valve here, this is what it's going to do. And we can, exactly what we said, you can base a channel. With the condition of your system, you must not chase the result. Yes, absolutely. That's the, you might have, who knows the size of it you might have in the system. It's just not going to gather out to,
As an engineer, have you instructed the workers here on the procedure for flushing? Would you be able to say that, though? I mean, seeing the model that you have, could you be able to construct a scenario of how to flush?
Yes.
Wow.
We need some more information for our model, but yes, we could.
Thank you.
So I guess I need to get this in the hands of somebody to get the information so that we can start on that as well.
Probably need that heater tank there. I would think it would be started
To figure out how much
right. Whatever, I don't know how much.
and how much you're losing between you and that.
Right. That's where they got started. Because, in my opinion, that's where we did.
I agree with that.
Start there, meter, and then go from there.
The thing about that, and I don't mean to dismiss that, is that water coming in, that's metered. You know how much water's coming in the racks there.
So, we just want to know what's leaving out. Because I
Yes.
know those ones that I got to pick throughout, knowing what, what percentage loss.
Yep. Yep.
But, we just need to.
Well, as I said, though, that Missouri meter that they have in there now won't read below 30 gallon a minute. It could be a 20 gallon a minute.
Yeah.
We need that amount.
We just, I guess we probably want to decide what it puts, what's in the start with.
Just for clarification, I think I heard you say that you pump 140 and you're only billing for 50? Thank you.
What do you think? Start with.
It all comes down, and we can do as much as we can, but we need funding to do it too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not cheap to do.
One question, would this fall under tech to have procedural protocol sheets or, like right out of the emergency response plan?
You have a standard operating procedure, I believe, for the plant.
Yeah, we don't talk portion of it, more so, let's reference to like distribution. I mean, these guys, they're not certified, and we're not speaking against them, but they're gonna depend on you guys and Jeff and I'll say Ryan, okay? For the plant, the system, he never put a thumb on that, and he just let everybody just do what they wanted.
Based on that knowledge or something.
So that would fall under
Yeah.
technical? Yeah, because the one thing that keeps sticking in my mind
I
is,
don't know if it'll be technical or personnel. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, the person,
Mr.
I'm
Evans,
thinking,
would you be able to know, or is this something for the solicitor? If stuff happens on the system, is it the board or is it the people who turn the valves?
I'm sorry, I couldn't catch that. Is it the board or
Is the board liable or the person turning the valves?
depends on the situation? It depends on who's operative they're working under.
That's exactly what I'm pushing up. And if they do not have direct supervision, are they allowed to operate permits on the system?
Are they allowed to, I apologize,
Valves, hydrants, are they allowed to work on them without certified supervision?
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
That's not how I would be, because they said you must either have oversight, not so much direct, but you have to have oversight.
Well, oversight's kind of open to interpretation, if we're being honest. That's going to come down to what the board's comfortable with as far as oversight.
One thing that I want to, when they shut sections of the line off, and they're not calling the 911 to have county office notified so the fire companies know that you are vulnerable, that's a liability. I was stressed when I was on the board, that was stress to us.
If the hydrants are shut off.
When you isolate a section of the system,
If the hydrants are operable, right?
but when you have part of the system shut down, if the fire company doesn't know,
Barton Street the other day, which was for all the law officials and 2 or 3 fire hydrants that they can have concerns.
it protects you guys, it protects the homeowner too, because now there's no delay for the fire company to properly respond.
Which hydrant would have been off that one by that valve, you would let them go?
There would have been, if you were standing in Dan Smith's yard, facing the road, there would have been a fire hydrant. It would have been to your right, it would have been sector, and there would have been 4 or 5 effective on the lower sector, so.
Was that something that's going to go through? Oversight? Or about
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is.
Yeah.
I know when Main Street was shut down,
And I'm
the
already
road,
here.
so starting down, I called out, I want to put back
Start
started.
there, you know, me, like this. What's required. Like, how long do we have to?
Well, Main Street was open, which is one by you.
The bridge plan, Dave.
It doesn't work. That's the other thing. We're talking about all this money, $8,000 in a quarter. We spent $1,200 to try and remove that rain program for the entire year. So we don't use it. You're paying these guys overtime to try to put stuff letters on doors, and they blow off. Like that one, they were there like 11:30 at night. That last one, I would have already been in bed. I get up at 3 o'clock. I get up and brush my teeth, do my hair, do everything. I don't go out and put it on the door before I come.
No, I don't think that's what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. That's, yeah, it's easy to put it back in the city.
We can absolutely come up with some operating procedures.
Maybe we could do it. But I think that would probably go over the person more training.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
it's something that's done.
Training.
Training. I mean, the one thing I want to stress, and Rob, I'll make sure you get my number. If you guys ever need any assistance with anything, question, give us a call. We'll help you out. At the end of the day, GDF just wants to help you guys out as best we can, because we do feel that municipal water is a very important thing. It helps people keep affordable water, because the alternatives are much more costly. I'm going to start going on this and get a priority list together, and I'm hoping to have one prior to that, and I'll reach out, and that way we can have a plan, hopefully before we do the meeting, because it just takes a little time to go wait on.
No, right.
Then you get the kind of like just about can I get that? I think I have the orders. I just want to make sure that I got it, because I trust that place. All yours is
8373. 8373.
best one, what's the best email for the plan?
Water@yahoo.com.
I think Leo's off the next couple of days, he's also just asking.
Do you have multiple email addresses? Do you have multiple email addresses? So the one that's IMA Water? What's,
For
what,
the company, do you have multiple water addresses, email addresses for the company?
No, we don't.
just the IMA Water dot,
Water@yahoo.com.
okay, thank you. It sounds better when it comes from you.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. We'll move on.
Thank you, committee chairman, for allowing us to be here. Is that it?
What's that? The water. I'll get it.